At the end of August, we got a brand new Inazuma 11 Victory Road of Heroes trailer. It was all about the new gameplay features. And today I want to bring you guys a full analysis of the trailer, going over all of the newly revealed features and trying to compile all of the information I've found about them from all across the web together into one easily digestible video. Before we begin, just a heads up that all the sources for today's video are going to be down below in the description, but the main one that I want to say thank you to is Inazuma Frontier. This is a fantastic Inazuma 11 themed website, and I completely recommend that you go and check him out. And follow Dance Enthusiast on Twitter, who gives some of the best Inazuma analysis on the website. Let's start nice and simple with the topic of Hizatsus. So in this trailer, we can obviously see that Arian has Whirly Whirly, and Nathan has Dance of the Wind God. But we can also take a look at this little menu down in the bottom right corner to get a look at some other characters' Hizatsus. For instance, Arian has Heartbeat and Easy Breezy, Axel has Flash Dash, which is obviously Sunny's move, Ricardo is Mystifying Mist and Hyper Swiper, and Shinohara, the new character, also has Dance of the Wind God. Now, it's completely fair to say that these moves are probably just temporary. I can't imagine a world where one of Axel's main Hizatsus is Flash Dash, and they're probably just being used for testing purposes, but it's still a nice little detail. And obviously it's confirmation that these moves are in the game. Now let's shift focus, pun intended, to a feature that has baffled me since its reveal. Focus. So basically, focus is Hino's way of trying to make the midfield of Inazuma 11 more important. Most of the clashes on the pitch will take place in this focus mode. When two players cross paths, the player trying to take the ball will have arm-shaped arrows pop out of them, and also give an idea of how difficult they will be to pass. Numbers come up on the screen, namely the block stat and the dribble stat, with the +1 effects more than likely being from team passives, which is something we'll get to. But back to the actual focus encounter, you'll have limited time to try and figure out which way you want to go. You can choose a variety of actions, including passing to an ally, trying to dribble past the opponent, or using a Hizatsu. And if you manage to get past the opponent, you get some tension points added to your tension gauge, which is something we'll go over a bit later. If you're the one defending, then the confrontation is basically the same, but obviously you don't have a lot of options, say like to pass or dribble. Obviously all you can really do is use a Hizatsu or just step across and try and tackle. And it's also worth saying that you can apparently enhance these arms, and I'm assuming increase their length, or make them stronger or whatever, by doing actual training in the game. Moving on, let's talk about Scramble. For a second, turn your mind back to the original Inazuma 11 games, and namely whenever two players tried to receive a ball at the same time. You'd get this little cutscene where basically it was essentially random which player actually got the ball, whether or not you, say, received your pass or the opponent intercepted. Well, Scramble is a way of making this more controlled. You'll need to move a cursor towards the icon of what you actually want to do, whether that's passing the ball to an ally or keeping the ball, but it's not quite as simple as that. Because not only do you have to select this in a limited time, but you must confirm it with the right timing, namely when the two circles align, as you can see here. And then of course there's an element of luck added on top of it. So whilst it may not be completely controlled, it is a lot more interesting and engaging than what we saw previously. In this trailer we also got a reminder of freestyle and quick actions. Quick actions are things you can easily select using the R button, and freestyle is where using the Nintendo Switch, you can basically change the way the game looks and how you play it. So for instance, you can play it handheld, or you can pretend that your Switch is a mobile phone, I guess, and play it vertically. But now let's talk about Tension Gorge, which may be the most controversial feature added. So TP is a thing of the past, it no longer exists. Instead, your entire team uses a gorge known as Tension. You fill this out by partaking in little focus confrontations as mentioned earlier. The trailer also shows us that dribbling past someone in focus mode gives you 20 tension points, and blocking someone in focus mode gives you 10, though I guess we don't know how much the max tension is or how much moves actually use, so these are just kind of random numbers at this point. But essentially, using Hizatsus uses tension. You can see that the amount of technique is going to use is highlighted on the tension gauge itself. We can see in the trailer that Dance of the Wind God costs Nathan a decent amount of tension, while Whirly Whirly from Arian doesn't actually cost as much. However, and I think this is really interesting, but how much tension it uses isn't actually linked to the Hisatsu itself, seemingly. From the looks of things, it's more so linked to the player. For instance, look at Ricardo here. He obviously has both Mystifying Mist and Hyper Swiper in his arsenal, but it's saying that if he was to use Hisatsu, it would use this amount of tension. Obviously, Mystifying Mist and Hyper Swiper typically aren't the same amount of power and cost the same amount of TP, so it seems to suggest that either of them would use that amount of tension. Maybe this is something we'll see changed because it feels quite unlikely, but it's just an interesting thing to notice from this trailer. Then we've got the feature dubbed in the zone. Funnily enough, this seems to be similar to how shooting worked in the original Inazuma 11 Ares tech demo, which is such a cute little full circle moment. But essentially, when you get close to goal, you can aim freely using the cursor. And what this does mean is that you can pass to teammates in the same way that FIFA lets you square the ball across goal to easily tap it in past the keeper. You can kind of do that here now. The idea is to let you do similar things that you could do in the DS games, and also score without using special moves. Something that was really hard to do in the Strikers game if you weren't a no-mashing god. And finally, we've got one more feature to talk about: team building. So first of all, let's take a look at this screen. This is obviously the formation screen, and some things are the same, namely there are 16 players in your team, and you've obviously got things like stats, a position, the year they're in, elements. But then we've also got these team passive effects. We can see that Mark's passive effects are as follows: tension max value plus 10%, acquired tension amount plus 5%, stamina max value for all players plus 10%, focus breakthrough for earth element players plus 20%. So obviously these are giving buffs in different areas to your team. And we can also see that Mark can have up to 5 different passives. The first 4 seem to be fixed and the ones that Mark will always have, whilst the 5th seems to be a blank slot that you can give Mark using, I'm assuming, Hisatsu move manuals like in the previous game, but I guess for passives. And it seems like the 4 fixed ones are unlocked by level. As you can see here, it seems to imply that the 4th one he will obtain at level 50. Then you've got this lovely thing here called Legendary Player. Now this has sparked a bit of fear in the community. I made a whole video about why it kind of scared me, but essentially some people are a bit worried because it kind of hints towards potential gacha mechanics. Well, Darts Enthusiast on Twitter has a different theory, and they've come to this conclusion by looking at other level 5 games such as Yokai Watch, Gorken Y, I think it's called, and Megaton Musashi. Namely, their theory suggests that these colors seen on the formation screen represent different rarities, with the idea being that the rarer a player, the better their passives will be. And Darts thinks that you'll be able to obtain different versions of the same player but with different rarities and thus different passives. So the aim of the game will be to scout your favorite players over and over till you get a 5-star legendary version of the player with the best passives out there, which lines up with similar mechanics in Megaton Musashi. But yeah, that is essentially everything in this brand new Victory Road trailer analyzed. What are your guys' thoughts on this trailer, and is there anything I missed? Let me know down in the comments below. I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you so much. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, all that classic YouTube stuff. Bye.